right, guys, welcome back. This saga continues. Ben went traipsing through the woods looking for the lost calf because the mom was just frantic, like she's looking for something. Him and Lane wound up, you didn't find anything, obviously.
No, me and him trampled through probably 20-25 acres of woods looking for it, looking for any sign for it. Couldn't find anything. And what I always do normally is call a mentor. Worked cattle with him for years. Used to work with him at the dairy. Anyway, very knowledgeable man. He told me, he said I would get her up. So it sounds like the calf might possibly be breech. So me and Lane worked her up here. Worked out beautifully. He done an awesome job, mainly Lane. And we got her up in the chute, no problem. Called Andrea and told her to get her big girl gloves on. So we're gonna have to go in and check to see if this thing is backwards.
I don't feel a calf. Well, that pretty much tells us what we need to know. There was no calf in there. So that means she had it, and either it fell in the pond or something got it. But all her afterbirth and everything is gone, which cows will eat their afterbirth. I know that might gross some of you out, but that's just what animals do. It gives them things back that they need. But I don't know that she would have ate it all that quick. Sometimes it takes them a while because it's a lot. So it makes me wonder if something came up out of those woods and got it. So we'll keep y'all posted on this. Don't know. Just don't know.
Another nasty, rainy, dreary day here. We are growing lots and lots of mud, that's for sure. All right, even though it's raining, nasty, cold, we had a cold front come through, and temperatures are definitely dropping. It was like 76, I think, was the high yesterday. Now it is 44 and cold and rainy. So one thing Andrea had on the agenda to get done today, every second Saturday of the month, just about 30 minutes away from the house, they have a sheep and goat sale. We have decided we're going to keep our little ewes that were born this year. So in doing that, we need to get rid of our ram. He's always had a foot problem up on his right front foot, and we can't ever get it healed. We have tried and tried. So we're going to end up selling him. Then next year we'll probably just get a new ram, and that way they won't be any relation. I'm fixing to head over and hook up to the trailer. Not going to get the camera out in the rain, but then I'll come back here and we'll load the ram up, head off, take him to the sale.
All right, y'all, so it's the next day. It was super rainy and cold yesterday and just not a good day for filming. So Ben was able to get the sheep loaded up, no problem, him and Lane. He got them hauled to the sale. So it's the next day, and in the course of all this looking at the rams, we realized one of the ewes at least is limping. So when we notice that, we try to stay on top of it. We trim pretty regularly around here, trim hooves, but it doesn't matter if it's not been very long. If we notice one limping, we're gonna check it out. So Emily and I are going out there and may recruit Lane to help us, and we are going out there to trim some hooves and just see what's going on. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's been a real stinky situation around here today. Let me just take you and show you what we've been doing this first half of the day. So this is where all the investigating this morning has led to. Yesterday we had really heavy rains again around here, and towards the end of the day we were taking baths and showers and got to the point our water wasn't going down and our toilet started bubbling. So that is never a good sign. I mean, it was pretty heavy rain all day, and it had been the night before, and then it was last night too. So we just actually plugged off the bathtubs and just left the bath water in there, and just hoping that it was just heavy rains and it would go down this morning. Well, that was not to be. So we've spent the first half of this day locating a problem. It's a stinky mess, isn't it, Ben?
Pretty nasty.
Real nasty. Lane's been over here helping. We've had Emily helping. It's been a lot of investigating. We could have just called someone, but really in the midst of all this craziness of this virus going around, we weren't actually sure how quick we would get someone out here or anything like that. So And plus Ben is pretty handy and just a jack of all trades. So he was able to use some different things and do some just narrowing down to figure out where the problem was. We fixed it, but it's just always something.
I'd looked at several different options out there. Roto-Rooter, they was about $200 and up. I'd also looked at buying my own Roto-Rooter, but it was like $400, something like that.
And that was a really cheap version.
And it would only reach about 50 feet. The house is a lot longer than that. So what I come up with, there's this thing you can buy from Lowe's and screw on the end of your garden hose, and it's rubber, and once it fills up, it swells out and fits the inside of your piping. And then once it does that, it seals it all off, and it's got a hole in the end of it. It starts shooting water out that, so no water can come backwards, it's pushing it all forward. And once it hit that plug, it just steadily puts pressure on it. Well, we started here on the end of the house and worked our way down. That's when I dug up and found that next clean out outside the house and pushed it on down through there. And when I took the top off,
found the problem.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. I would say the more things you know about your house and how your own house works, where your sewer cleanouts are and all that kind of stuff, the better to do things for yourself. Because sometimes there's just no one to call. We've had times before where we've had problems where just no one wants to come fix it. So it's good to know those things. I don't always, but thankfully Ben does. Every time problems happen, I try to watch him and learn from those and store those things away in case I ever am in a position where I have to handle it. I don't know all these things like he does, so I'm trying to learn. All right, so back to sheep hooves. Emily's about to feed them. I'm gonna set y'all up and I'm gonna go in there. We're gonna try to catch them. The boys are still working on finishing up the mess over there, and so we gotta do this on our own. So I'm gonna set y'all down, try to catch them, give them a quick look, a good trim if they need it, and move on. All right, we got us a new helper. It's always good when Lane helps, that way we got an extra set of hands. This little girl's so pretty. You wanna be on camera? See, I'm a sweet baby. Okay, your sheep booty is in my face, girl. Okay. No, no, no. No, no, no. These little sheep hooves grow so fast. Katie, really? Lane, help.
Katie, come here.
So you can see, like, let me show you a clean one. It's muddy everywhere, but I've already trimmed this one up. But if this part right here on the outside starts getting flapped over here where mud can get trapped under it, that's a bad thing. You want to keep that trimmed up. One more mama, two more babies. So I'm by no means a professional sheep hoof trimmer, but here's what I do. You can see how this hoof is starting to grow over this part. That makes its walking uneven, and it can just lead to stuff getting trapped up under here. When I trim this off, as long as I go slow a little at a time, you can see it's not bleeding or anything. It didn't even flinch. It's just like cutting your fingernails. Now you want to do it a little at a time, and when you start seeing pink under there, if you keep trimming, you're gonna draw blood, and you don't want to do that. So, or at least I don't. I don't know what you want, but I don't want to make a little baby bleed. Okay. So you can see this one's not bad at all. What's funny is the chickens will stand around under us and eat this that I trim off. So you can see that's got mud caked. I just kind of try to get that out of there. That will cause foot rot, and it'll start up in here between their little hooves. So I just try to get that out. There's no way to keep all of it out. And this is what I was talking about. You can see how that's pink. I don't want to clip anymore right there because I'll start drawing blood if I do. Now there's more involved in sheep and trimming an adult sheep because their feet are going to be way worse than this, but this is what I do for a little baby. Look at her lying snuggling. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, that was good. That was good. All right, this last mama's a little bit wilder. She's the one that had a single baby, and she takes that baby everywhere she goes. So that's why we trapped her in here, because we'd already ran this field about 5 times. So we're gonna try to finish this up. We got to get in here and try to catch her first. Got that little girl. She's so little. You're so petite. All right, that job is done, thankfully. That's kind of a back-breaking job, especially for the person holding the sheep that's bent over. But other than that, it's not too bad. It doesn't take too long. I've actually put them up on our little milk station before, so that's an idea for you. If you have sheep and goats, that's a good place to trim hooves because they can stand there and eat and be happy, and you can catch their head and they're not going anywhere. And it's a good, safe, stable place for them to be so that you can do your best job. So before we wrap this up, I thought I'd take you out here and give you a sneak peek of the piglets and how they're doing. So there is 11 piglets left. We lost the little runt. We hated it. It was so small that most of the time we do lose the runt. Again, not sure what happened to it. She could have laid on it. I doubt it. It had got to where it was kind of wandering off a little bit. It could have wandered and something could have got it. That's highly possible. And also something that happens that one of y'all mentioned, and I knew it, it's actually happened before. When piglets die like that, sometimes the mom will actually eat them to protect the rest of them because it's already dead, and to not attract wild animals in there with the smell of a dead animal. So that's always a possibility, but I actually feel very fortunate that we have 11 out of 13 left. That's a really great size litter. All right guys, I'm heading in. It is cold and windy out here. I'm going to get me something warm to drink. The problems around here are fixed. I'll tell you what it was. It wasn't anything gross like toilet paper or anything like that. It was actually, I had washed a couple of greasy pans, and I didn't think they had that much grease on them, but obviously it does not take very much at all, and that's what clogged our whole sewer system up. So don't be like me, don't do that. Lesson learned, I won't do that again. I will basically like wipe all grease off before I put it in my dishwater. So anyway, that's how it goes. Glad I got a handyman that fixed it, and all is well. So I'll see you guys later. God bless.